Dark Shadows, number 121, VTR 12566, Air 121266, take two.
My name is Victoria Winters. There is grave concern at Collinwood, for my whereabouts are still unknown. The searchers move farther and farther away from where I'm hidden. But there is one who, unsuspecting, has come very close to finding me.
Matthew? Matthew? Matthew, where are you? Matthew? I brought you some cigarettes. Matthew? Matthew, is that you? Who is it? Matthew? Is that you? Who's there? Who is it?
What are you doing near that wall?
I was looking for you.
I thought I told you to go.
I did.
Why'd you come back?
I forgot something.
Did you?
Yes, I thought you might want to smoke.
That was real nice of you, Davy, but it could have waited till next time. I don't want you running in and out of here.
Here, Matthew.
Where'd you get these?
They're Mrs. Johnson's.
You didn't smoke a few of them, did you?
No, I wouldn't.
Now, Davy, you can tell me what you were really doing over near that wall.
I thought I heard something.
Heard something?
Yes, I thought it was you.
Me?
When I came in, I didn't see you when I started to call your name. And then I could hear it.
Hear what?
The sound.
What kind of sound?
It was like a voice coming from that wall.
Oh, come on, Davy.
No, it was like someone was trying to say something.
Like what?
I don't know.
Could have been in your mind.
No, it was very real.
You hear it now?
No, I don't hear it.
Well, you see?
But I know I heard something.
Forget it, Davy. I'm telling you. Forget it.
But I can't forget it.
I don't like the way you're talking.
Matthew, could it have something to do with the secret of this house?
You're asking too many questions. You've been here too long already.
It must be that.
Go home now, Davy.
Matthew, what is it?
That's enough.
That's the secret.
Trouble with you is you don't know when to stop.
Please, you don't have to keep the secret from me.
I told you I'd tell you the secret tomorrow or the next day.
Why can't I know now?
Because I say so.
Maybe I have an idea of what it is.
You do?
I'm figuring it out.
Are you?
Yes. Will you tell me if I'm right?
Depends. What do you think you heard?
Well, I'm sure it was a human voice, but it didn't sound very human. I mean, I couldn't make out words, but I almost did.
Now you got all your little clues together. What's in your mind?
Well, what I heard was a ghost.
Ghost. Davy.
What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing because you're a lot smarter than I thought you were.
You mean I'm right?
Yeah, you're right, Davy. Sure. His old house is full of ghosts. And ghosts to be.
Is it all right if I clear away in here?
Oh, yes, of course. Go right ahead.
That telephone's been pretty quiet.
Guess there just isn't any news.
All night long I could hear them out there, calling her name. Vicky, Vicky. Oh, it gave me chills. They'll never find her alive, poor girl. Out with that Matthew Morgan around somewhere.
Would you feel safer if you lived in town?
Oh, who's safe anywhere? One place is as good as another. That Matthew Morgan is a crazy man.
In all the years I've known him, he's never caused me trouble.
Well, he worked for you, but you didn't really know him as I do. I used to wonder how you could keep him on here.
I thought I understood him. I still feel sorry for him.
Well, he'll get what's due him. I'm just worried how many he'll take along with him.
Mrs. Johnson, I wish you'd stop this morbid conversation.
Well, I'm sorry, Mrs. Stoddard. It's just that I feel that death is around somewhere close. And while he's here, he may take more than one. I'll get that.
Miss Stoddard home?
Come in, Sheriff.
Thank you.
Have you found her yet?
I'd like to see Mrs. Stoddard.
Oh, well, you can tell me if you found her. After all, I know the poor girl.
Mrs. Johnson, if you don't mind.
Oh, I see. You haven't found her. What a police department. You could have 100 clues and 50 eyewitnesses, and you wouldn't solve the case.
Have you finished now, Mrs. Johnson?
Oh, a murderer around here someplace. What kind of protection do we get?
It's Mrs. Stoddard that I'd like to see.
George,
Oh, hello, Mrs. Stoddard.
They haven't found her yet, as you might expect.
come inside, George.
Thank you.
Mrs. Johnson, will you please shut the doors? I see you know her well enough not to pay any attention to her.
I ought to deputize her. She gives a pretty mean interrogation. Unfortunately, she's right. I haven't got a clue, not a trace.
And Matthew?
Well, he could be anywhere or everywhere. I'm pretty sure that he's not out of the state, though.
Oh, I wish he were. Then I know he didn't have Vicky.
Well, we've gone over this area very carefully, and I'm convinced that he's not around here.
But you're not sure.
Well, I'm reasonably certain. I'm just not positive. I am going to leave some of my men here to go back over the places we've already looked.
What about Vicky?
No, not a trace. I've called the Bangor police and the state police. They're checking into all the hotels, hospitals, taxis, buses, railroad stations, everything. I've even got men back on the beaches and up on the cliffs.
What are the odds that Matthew has her?
Well, I can't give you odds.
Then it's possible.
It is.
Do you think he'd harm her?
Well, to be realistic about it, yes, he might. But on the other hand, he might not. He's very unpredictable. You know the strain he's been under, and, well, you know what he was like to begin with.
I'm to blame if anything's happened to her.
Now, you mustn't feel that way. No one could have predicted this.
So much has gone on here, so much that's wrong. If only I could turn time back and make everything right.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean.
You only know part of what I mean.
Mrs. Stoddard, do you have a photograph of Vicky?
Oh, Carolyn took some a little while ago.
Well, I need one to give to the Missing Persons Bureau. I'll return it as soon as I've had a copy made.
I'll get it.
Thank you.
George, I want you to be brutally frank with me.
Well, it's easy to be that way with people you don't care anything about, but
Please. Do you have much hope for Vicky?
no.
Oh, David, there you are. I've been looking all over for you.
I see the sheriff's here. Did he find Vicky?
No, he did not.
Does he have any clues?
When the cannery whistle blows at noon, he knows it's time for lunch. That to him is a clue. And it accounts for the size of him.
And he doesn't know anything about Matthew either.
Well said, Davy.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, but look here, I want to ask you something.
But I've got to go.
I want to ask you something.
Can't it wait?
No, it cannot.
What is it?
This morning, I remember lighting a cigarette when I was talking with you, and I put the pack on the table.
Are you supposed to smoke while you're working?
Now, don't talk to me like that. I'm telling you that I put a package of cigarettes in front of you on the table, and I haven't seen them since.
So what do you want with me?
Do you know where they are?
How would I know?
I think you do.
I don't know where they are. Maybe you should look harder.
I've looked very hard, and it looks very suspicious to me.
Well, maybe they walked off by themselves.
Oh, come here.
Hey, what are you doing?
Just a minute here. I want to see something.
What did you let go of my hand?
No, I guess not.
What did you do that for?
I was looking to see if you had yellow fingers, if you've started smoking.
You thought I took your cigarettes to smoke?
That's the idea. You're the only one around here who would.
Mrs. Johnson, if I wanted cigarettes, I wouldn't steal them. I'd buy them.
All right, Mike, thank you. Well, if you hear anything more, then let me know. Right.
Hi, Sheriff.
Hello, David. You've been breaking any laws lately?
Like what?
Oh, speeding on your bicycle?
Sheriff, what does it mean when the cannery whistle blows?
Lunch?
That's right.
Why did you ask?
Oh, no reason. I was just wondering. Have you found any clues about Matthew? Or
Yeah.
Vicky?
Well, we have some. We have some footprints of Miss Winters and some of Matthew Morgan. Some tire tracks, some old and some new, but unfortunately nothing that leads us anyplace.
And where are you looking?
Well, all over. We've covered this area now. We're going on to a new section. We're going to leave some men behind here, though, in case Matthew comes back.
And where do you think he's hiding?
Well, I've tried all the places I could think of. There is one other possibility, though.
What's that?
Well, Matthew isn't the kind of man that many people would like, but,
But I like him. I did like him.
well, what I mean to say is that it's possible that someone is trying to hide him.
Oh, you think so?
Well, anything is possible in a case like this.
Who do you think would hide him?
Well, I don't know, but whoever it is, if someone is trying to hide him, I sure wouldn't want to be in his shoes.
Why?
Well, he's a very dangerous and desperate man. Isn't that reason enough?
Do you think Matthew would hurt anyone who tried to help him?
Well, you can't be sure. He's very unpredictable.
I don't think he would.
Well, at any rate, the person who hides Matthew is lucky enough to come out of this with his skin, then he'll have to face me.
Why you?
Well, it's against the law to harbor a known criminal. He'd be an accessory after the fact.
But what if the man didn't know Matthew was wrong?
Well, he'd have to know that. It's been on the radio and in the newspapers.
I see.
So he'd be guilty.
What would happen to him?
Well, he'd have to go to jail.
You mean the person who helps Matthew could go to jail?
Absolutely.
But even if he thought he was right,
Well, there's a difference between thinking you're right and being right.
Here's a snapshot of Vicky George.
Oh, thank you.
Hello, David. Where have you been?
Around.
Is there anything else I can do for you?
No, thank you. I just wish there was something more I could do for you.
Well, you're doing your best.
Well, I'll return this as soon as I get a copy made.
Thank you.
Well, don't bother to see me out. Oh, I see Mrs. Johnson is waiting for that pleasure. Goodbye, David.
Bye.
Bye, George.
Aunt Elizabeth, the sheriff told me if anyone helps Matthew, he could get in trouble and go to jail.
That's right.
But I thought it was good to help somebody.
Not if that person has done something wrong, and Matthew has done something terribly wrong.
Aunt Elizabeth, do you think Matthew has Vicky?
I don't know.
Would he hurt her?
It's possible.
Would he kill her?
I'd rather not talk about it, David.
Aunt Elizabeth, do you know all the secrets about the old house?
What do you mean?
Well, are there any secrets?
Everybody knows the old ghost stories.
No, I mean something more secret than that. Something about the walls. Is there a secret about the walls?
Not that I know of. Why do you ask?
Oh, no reason. I just wanted to know. I like the old house, and I was just wondering.
I wish that someday you'd ask an important question.
Like about schoolwork?
Well, that would help.
Not me.
Now, where are you going?
Out,
Where?
around, all over.
I want you back here before dark.
Where are they?
What?
My cigarettes.
Stop bugging me.
I think you know where they are. I think you're up to something.
Back too soon. Thought I told you to stop coming here so much.
I have to tell you something.
What's that?
I was talking to the sheriff.
What about?
I didn't say anything.
You sure?
I wouldn't come back here after I'd said something or told on you, would I?
I don't know. What did the sheriff say to you?
He said that he's going to move and search to another place. And he's only going to leave a few men around here.
Good, eh? Good. Good. That'll make it easier for me to get away.
But you said you were going to stay.
I can't stay here. It's not safe. Sooner or later, they'll have to come back here.
They're not going to find you. You promised you'd stay.
Yeah, sure, Davy. I'm staying.
Anyway, they won't find you because you have a good hiding place. Matthew, where do you hide?
None of your business.
I was just asking.
You do too much asking.
But it is good.
You bet.
Did you smoke the cigarettes I brought you?
Yeah, I smoked some.
Mrs. Johnson's mad. She thinks I took them.
Don't ever steal anything like that again, you hear me? Don't take chances. Just cut it out.
I'm sorry.
If you want to help me, you must never do anything that might hurt me. Understand?
Matthew, the sheriff said something.
What?
He said that if somebody helped a wanted criminal, then he might go to jail. Is that true?
No.
Then why did the sheriff tell me?
To scare you.
Oh, the sheriff said something else. It's a accessory after the fact. What does that mean?
That's lawyer talk. Who you gonna believe, him or me?
I've been believing you.
You're gonna keep on believing me, ain't you?
Sure I am, Matthew. Matthew, if they ever catch up to you, you wouldn't tell on me, would you?
No, I wouldn't. What are you asking for?
Because I don't want to go to jail.
Under oath, Hannah Cord swears she saw Ann Howard murdered and names the guilty party. Watch Peyton Place tonight at 9:30, 8:30 Central Time in color here on ABC. Dark Shadows is a Dan Curtis production.